Good afternoon. We're at the Apollo High School where we had an unfortunate event occur this morning. What I want to do is assure the Apollo community and our community at large is we have a very safe environment for our students thanks to the quick, swift action of our people on the ground here today. I'd like to ask Officer Youngman here, who is our lead officer for Davis County Public Schools. He and his team responded. So Officer Youngman, tell us a little bit about how the situation unfolded this morning and our response.
Sure thing, sir. So this morning, before first period classes began, some information was brought to the school resource officer and the school administration that a student on campus may be armed with a gun. The school followed the protocol which is in place and immediately initiated a lockdown. This was a unique event because schools were not in, class was not in session at the time, but the school has practiced for that, and the school did exactly what they were supposed to do, and it worked exactly the way it was supposed to work. The student was quickly located by the Apollo High School school resource officer and taken into custody. A fake handgun was found on the student. It is not an operating firearm. It's been described as more of a BB gun, and it was not loaded. That was taken also, and the student has been charged with a felony terroristic threatening. Once he was brought to the office, other information began coming in to the school administration, and other officers were on scene that were able to talk to students and get some of that information, which led to another individual that was armed with another what we call a dangerous instrument, not a weapon, but something that could be used as a weapon. In this case, it was similar to brass knuckles, and he was arrested also, and he was also charged with terroristic threatening. We won't identify who those students are, but they've both been charged. The school will, do what the school needs to do in addition to the criminal justice system. And we also want to, make you aware that when this lockdown was initiated, the Davis County Sheriff's Office and the Owensboro Police Department both worked with us on this. The Sheriff's Office responded to the scene very quickly. We had ample, sufficient help on scene very quickly. Everybody was concerned and everybody responded the way they were supposed to. This is what we trained for. In my opinion, it went very well. We don't want these incidents to happen, but when they do, we want to make sure that we handle them properly. And in this case, I think we did.
I just want to ask a quick question here. So were our students in any danger or staff in any danger at any time?
No, sir. That's a really good point. Our investigation has shown that the event that took place today was not an attack on the school. This was not like you've seen in other situations where people were planning to just randomly start committing violence. This, from what we can tell, and we feel confident saying, was an event that happened off campus. But some of the players in that event attend this school, and they wanted to, air their grievances against each other here at school. So this was not a random act of violence being planned against the school.
All right. Mr. Lasley, tell us a little bit about, from your experience here as principal of Apollo High School, what took place here today, and then where we are, and then where does that put us for tomorrow?
Well, I first have to say I am so proud of our administration, our school resource officer, all the adults in the building did, as Officer Youngman described, exactly the way we practice for this type of thing. And so I'm very proud, couldn't be more proud as principal for all the things that we did to get our students safely locked in classrooms. We don't like that we have to exercise things like that, but as Officer Youngman said, when it has to happen, we want it to happen the way it did. So the important thing is to know, I think, it is the reassurance that we have tracked down every piece of information that we feel we need that is connected to the students that came to school with the intent that they had. And want to reassure that, safety is our very first priority, and we would never put our kids or our staff in any harm's way. So we want to reassure our community, our Eagle family, that we are going to open our doors tomorrow and approach tomorrow's school day like we would any other day. And like I said, we We reacted as quickly and as efficiently as we knew to do today, and that's a credit to all the administrators and Officer Klee and all the staff and our students. Our students knew exactly what to do, and they followed through.
Principal Lasley, could you give us just a brief overview of the timeline of events that occurred this morning and how that carried itself out?
Well, at 8:03 is the time that we feel that the first call was made. Actually, a student shared information to one of our teachers, and that teacher quickly got in touch with our assistant principal, Bob Deitch, and he immediately on the radio contacted me for a lockdown based on the information that was shared with him. And from that point forward, all students and staff, even though our school day had not yet started, when they heard the words lockdown and the instruction that I was giving over the PA, all of our staff and students knew exactly what to do and where to go. So they were safely locked behind classroom doors or the nearest space that they found to be locked behind. And that happened within minutes, a very short amount of time. So the important piece here is that our system worked when we were in a moment before the school day began. And those are some of the more dangerous situations that can occur on a school day.
And then the perceived threat from the moment 8:03, you're telling us that we became aware of it. The perceived threat was identified at what time?
Identified at 8:07. It was. I know that because our warning bell sounds at 8:08, and I know it just happened prior to that.
Okay, so within minutes we were able to
Within minutes we were
identify.
able to identify the perceived threat and have that situation contained.
And we will have an increased presence of our own officers here tomorrow at Apollo High School, just to reassure our parents as well as our students that it is a safe, nurturing environment ready for students. Everything worked as it should. We remind our folks that we have a stop tip line that's on our website to immediately report any kind of safety threat or concern. Student, in fact, came to us today, came to the one of our teachers here who immediately responded on that. All of our safety protocol worked, even to the point of lockdown, to ensure that our students are safe. Those are the priorities of Davis County Public Schools, and those are the priorities of Apollo High School. Thank you, and we welcome any questions or concerns that you may have. Feel free to contact us with those. We're ready to move forward with a safe, normal day here at Apollo High School, starting tomorrow on Friday. Thank you very much.